Hey guys, how are you? This is Jeff with another episode of Thoughts and Self Reflections. This is the third one in the books. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. The very few ones that have downloaded this few or past episodes. So I thank you. I thank you very much. Um Now I come to you from Copic, as you all know. I was watching the stats um of the episodes, and since I posted my first one, and the episodes have been listened to or from Copic, which is actually very interesting. And the reason on why I'm saying this is because is the town that I really don't feel um it's not an attachment, that I don't feel any sort of what's the word that I'm looking for, that I don't feel in any way related to. I've never been a champion for the town, not for what it is, it's just for the people that it has. And and if it, I just can't ask for for perfection or a perfect place to be from. I I learned my lessons from this place. I grew up in this place. But one thing that I said though was, I'm from Copic, but and I live in it right now, but I won't die in it. And the reason being is just like I mentioned, and there's nothing. Hey guys, I'm not saying that that um that the place itself is a bad place, but it's just the people. And not only that, it's just for what happens here. And I mean, if you like living here, hey guys, I mean, it's up to you. It's up to you. Whatever you want to wish for, that's up to you. Like I said, but I wouldn't raise my children here, if you know what I mean. And this is not saying that I'm not truthful in what I'm saying. It's just that I'm telling you from what I have experienced in this town in the 15 years that I've been in here. I wouldn't want to raise my children, and there are far more other places out there that have their good and bad things in them. I'm I'm not glorifying any place in the US or any place around the world for that matter that have been great, but there are other places that are better, that are all right. But if I had my choosing, I wouldn't, I wouldn't here. But I wouldn't do it here. I just, yeah. And going back, and reflecting back on all the things that I've been through in here. Also, I need to always go back to sharing, because I have expressed on both of the episodes that I posted on this series of thoughts and self reflections, on sharing your being, sharing your time, sharing is a big word for me, because I'm sharing myself through you guys on this platform with a microphone and recording everything that I could, so I could be able to be a voice to those who can benefit from the things that I'm saying. And also, I'm sharing my time as well. Um and also friendships as well. And the thing that I want to express to you guys, to the very few that are listening and who have downloaded this episode, which I'm very grateful for, is the friendships that I've that I've managed to have, which are very few, by the way. And what I have honestly learned, and I'm still learning, I'm a work in progress, guys. I'm telling you. And whoever thinks that they have all figured it out, they're lying to you. They're lying up front in your face. We're all a work in progress for however long we get to live. Although chronologically it seems like a long time, but life is very short, man. If you don't think about that for as long as you live, man, you have to nurture the very few relationships that you manage to have. And be careful who you share your time with. Value the time that you get to share with someone. I don't care if it's a friendship. I don't care if it's a boyfriend or girlfriend or whomever you like. And whatever love that you get to share with someone, it doesn't matter. Same sex, I champion all love. Heterosexual love, same relationship, man to man love, woman to woman love. If you're polyamorous, if you're pansexual, if you like your preferences, hey man, I'm all for it. Be able to be yourself. It's 2021, man. Be true to yourself, and the true you will come out always. Along with the sharing, be glad of who you were, or and who you are right now as well too. If you were sporadic at a certain point, if you exploded at that particular point, if somebody was breaking up with you, hey man, hey, admit what you have done already, and reflect a little bit on that and say, man, hey man, I didn't like being myself at that particular moment when I was doing that, and I exploded with emotions, and then the other person received that. Because what I'm amounting all of this on is of an experience that I had at this job that I'm currently employed in. And I remember this last you know, this last thing I did. And I was with this girl, and she was like, and by the way, I'm I haven't spoken to this lady, and I hope she's doing well. But man, at this point, they got me. By the way, they got me into this gossip that I had nothing to do with. Believe me. But then she said this and that, which I was never involved in. Long story short, and I'll tell this story in bits and pieces, and I'll come full circle with it. But what I'm amounting to at this particular moment was that at that moment, I exploded with emotion. And I exploded in a certain way that was not good. And I reflected. And I shared a little tiny piece of me. At that moment of despair, she knew a little bit about me at that moment. And I remember her saying, I don't care about that. And I said, wow. She doesn't care how I feel. She doesn't care about what others are feeling. So she's done with this. And that's when I knew, wow. But I at least exploded with all this anxiety, despair, not being wanted by this person. I let it all out there, and I was truly out there for what it was. And I have grown from it. I truly am grateful for that moment to happen to me. Although I wasn't feeling well, I was not feeling great, but I let it all out. So that to me was important because at that moment I said, well, I'm a much better person for it. And also, guys, you have to be able to say to yourself, "Hey, man, look, for however many people I dated, for however many people have come into my life and they have left me, I appreciate them for making me realize the things that I was never good at and the things that I wasn't able to acknowledge and I wasn't able to express." And when you're able to do that at the moment, feel grateful for it, and also as soon as time has passed, be able to reflect on that and say, "Man, I've grown from that moment. I know now for a fact that I could be able to alleviate all the things that were and still hinder me, and I could be able to learn from it, and I know how to handle that situation a little bit better and a little bit much quicker, and anticipate, not with much quickness but with a great deal of wisdom on how to act at that particular moment when it happens." So, I had to tell you guys this because it's just as important and as relevant in times like this, and especially what has happened nowadays with this news of the Capitol being vandalized. That's sorry if guys if I deviated a little bit on this, but I just can't. By the way, I don't watch the news. I haven't watched the news. It's all poison for my own sanity. I don't watch the news. People tell me these things. And what I wanted to say on this short episode was about sharing. People share things with me. And what I've come up with is, man, I cannot be entertained by what happens. Although I'm meaning to share and to experience whatever I'm experiencing, but I just can't let it bother me too much, because here's one thing that I'll say. Look, I'm glad that nobody got hurt while that happened, while that vandalism was outreaching its absolute craziness, because it was very crazy what happened. And I'll leave you with this, guys. I'll say it in the words of George Carlin, the great comedian of whom I admire, and he said it best: "When you're born in this world, you're given a ticket to the freak show. And when you're born in America, you get a front row seat. Either you choose to participate in what happens, or would you like to be the commentator who writes things down and let it all happen and not take full responsibility for what others do?" I chose not to participate in, and it's just I don't take it very seriously. It's just I'm part of the freaks, and I just, like I said, I just let it happen as it should. I'm glad to have a conversation with someone else about the whole thing, but I just cannot let that overwhelm me with worry and despair. I have things to do in my own life. Now, I will protect my loved ones if something unravels, but I just can't put my finger on the things that other people do in moments when they feel that they need to be heard. Now, this Trump guy, he's going to get out of there no matter what. I'm not a very political person, because politicians are there just to give you an illusion that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You don't have freedom of choice. These owners of this country own you. They own the freaking land. They own everything. And you and I are not in the big club. You and I are not in the big club. They want to make you believe anything. You know what choices you have? Choices for meaningless stuff. The only choices you have: paper or plastic, Coke or Pepsi, smoke or non-smoke. But hey, if you want a freaking donut, there are 32 flavors of it. Those are the only choices that you're held here in America. So I just don't 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 partake in all that choice and all that freedom. Um, let them have their fun. I'm just here entertained by it. This country was paid, like I said. Also, I'm saying like this. I'm saying it like this because this country was bought and paid a long time ago. The shit they shuffle around every 4 years doesn't mean a fucking thing. I mean, it's just how it is. Uh, and I just don't buy in all of that. But I don't mean to get political. I'm gonna get some people pissed off, which I don't really care for. I'm all for debate. I'm willing for that, and I hope everybody is safe out there. Like I said, it's all about sharing on this episode. So I have overstayed my welcome. So thank you guys. Share with me. Put some comments on on Instagram. Send me a direct message on Instagram. The ones that are into that kind of stuff. And thank you guys for listening. Thank you. Thank you so much. When the chill chill, when the chill chill, when the chill chill, when the chill chill.